Okay, so today we're going to talk about 5 things to watch out for when purchasing an older house. So for all of my realtors out there, listen in. This is a great video for you guys, especially obviously when working with your clients. And if you're in the housing market yourself or an owner of your own house, this is something to listen to. Really, I would say if your house is anywhere before 2000, that's what I'm going to call quote unquote older house and what most of the stuff would fall into. So listen up, 5 things. Number 1 is going to be plumbing and electric. And the reason I say both of them together is because they're a similar situation. Back in the day, they used different products than we use now. For instance, electric. You have Federal Pacific and Sylvania panels that are no longer insured by our insurance companies. As a buyer of a house or a homeowner, if your insurance company drops you as a homeowner, or as a buyer you cannot get insurance, the mortgage company is not very happy about that. In fact, you probably know what happens. And they force you to buy insurance, something like maybe Citizens, and it's going to be much higher than what you had originally gotten. So it's important to pay attention to the electric panel. Federal Pacific and Sylvania are 2 you want to stay away from. Other ones, most of them are good. Square D, you're golden. But you want to keep an eye on that. Older products are not always insured, especially in an older house. Second, like I say, plumbing. The reason I say plumbing is you want to know, did they redo the plumbing and put it in the attic? If it's not in the attic, then that means it's still in the ground, especially if it was built anywhere between the 80s and before the 80s, 60s, 70s, 80s. Anything like that, if the plumbing is in the ground, that's not a good situation. I would recommend have a plumber come out there. Obviously, he's not going to dig into the ground if there's not a problem, but as much as he can see, get him out there, have him look at it, and get a recommendation. Reason being, because in the kitchen, let's just say a leak springs up in the ground, what they literally have to do is tear off whatever flooring you may have, rip off your tile, go into the concrete, get the plumbing and remove it. The problem is when they do that, most of the time they suggest you do it all because if you have one leak, you're going to get more leaks. And like I say, that's in the ground, so they're tearing up all of your flooring, tearing up all of your concrete. Your house basically looks like a war zone. It's not going to be a pretty situation. So you want to make sure the plumbing is in the attic, or that you're at least aware and know if it's coming, okay, hey, at least I have a warning here and I know that it's going to be coming and it's not a surprise. Those are 2 big things. Now, the next 2, these are a little bit more obvious. The roof. Obviously, I don't care if your house is built in 2010, we still want to know when the roof was put on. And that's important to know, especially if it was an older roof. Now, for those of you who are looking in Charlotte County, Lee County, the area right here, we were hit by Charlie back in 2005, and a lot of things were, it was a mess, and most roofs were replaced then, so you'll hear us call it a Charlie roof. That means it was replaced around that time, and there's a really good chance that's the case. Even so, those roofs are now 16 years old, which may need to be replaced. Something to keep an eye on. I think I must have a bad internet going in and out, so hopefully you guys can still hear me all right. But those windows are important just for the day-to-day AC that you're running through them, higher insurance that you're going to be paying, and then let alone the protection of you and your family in the case of a hurricane or something like that. Definitely something to pay attention to. So quick review: electric, plumbing, roof, AC. And another thing is, 1, if it's in a historical section, pay attention to that, because if it's in a historical section, they will make you get permits for everything, and sometimes they will not allow you to make certain changes because they want the house to remain in its original, right, as much as possible, original state. So that is something to pay attention to. Punta Gorda has a historical section. Most towns do have what they would call a historical section. In that situation, call the county before you purchase the house and ask them and say, hey, I want to do XYZ. Is there a reason the county would hold me back from doing those items? Or can I have liberties to do that? Something very important to make sure and reach out about. So those are 5 things. Let me just see if I missed anything. I think that is everything on my list. Insurance is a big one. You want to make sure you can get insurance on it. And just as a interesting thing I do with my clients, I would suggest for you to do this as a buyer, seller, homeowner, or insurance, real estate agent, is ask the homeowners if they have an insurance quote for you. Especially if it's an older house. If there's a surprise that the insurance company found, they already found it with the current homeowners. So ask them, hey, can you get me a quote of what your current homeowner insurance cost you? And then take that to your agent and obviously ask her if she can do better. But nonetheless, if it's extremely high, trust me, the owners that are selling you the house already know that it's high, already know why, and then you don't, again, these are all to avoid some of these surprises. And a lot of these things can be taken care of if you are a homeowner as well, or of course looking to purchase. These are big things to pay attention to. So hopefully that is helpful to all of my real estate agents, all of my homeowners, all of my clients looking to buy, sell, invest, all of that. These are things that you want to look out for, red flags that are definitely something that are worth noting. You guys have an awesome Wednesday. As you know, my name is Savannah Shepard. I'm the broker of Sell State Vision Realty. If you know of anyone that's looking to buy a home, sell a house, invest in real estate, or start in their real estate career, I would love to help them and walk them along that journey. Thank you guys so much. Have a great Wednesday, and I will talk to you soon.